Hello students, we are discussing the chapter company and some of the basic concepts of the company we will discuss in this video. First of all, I would like to discuss about the meaning of company. So company is a voluntary association of persons formed through the process of law for the purpose of carrying on some business. In regard of company, Professor L.H. Haney has given a very good definition, and the definition is a company is an artificial person created by law having separate entity with a perpetual succession and a common seal. So, company is the association of persons. When some persons come together to start some business, that is called company, and that how many persons should be there, that depends upon the laws of formation of the company that we will discuss. Some of the features we will discuss now. Features of the company. Features. Number one, separate legal entity. Separate legal entity. A company is a legal person and its entity is quite distinct and separate from its owners or shareholders or members, whatever you want to say. It can purchase and sell the properties in its own name, can open bank account in its own name, and can enter into contracts with its own name. Since a company has a legal personality distinct from that of its members, a creditor of such a company can sue only the company for his debts, not any of its shareholders or members. And second is perpetual succession. Perpetual succession. The existence of a company is not affected by retirement, death, lunacy, or insolvency of its members. Shareholders may come, shareholders may go, but the company will go on forever. Next is limited liability. The liability of the members of company is limited up to the amount they spent for purchasing of shares. So the liability of the shareholder of a company limited to the unpaid value of the shares. Next is common seal. Company is an artificial person. When a person put his signature, company has its own seal to be stamped. Next, fifth point is transferability of shares. Transferability of shares. The members of the company can transfer their shares. The capital of the company is divided into parts called shares. These shares are freely transferable subject to the certain conditions. And the last feature is separation of management from ownership. Separation of management from ownership means shareholders are the true owners of a company, but usually the numbers of shareholder is quite large, and as such it is neither possible nor desirable for each member to take part in the day-to-day management of the company. So therefore company is managed by a board of directors elected by the shareholders. Now let us discuss the kinds of company now. Kinds of company. Like joint stock company is there. So joint stock company. These are joint stock companies are of three types. Unlimited company, company limited by guarantee, company limited by shares. So further, the company limited by shares can be divided in three parts. Private company, public company, one person company. So this is the tree showing the kinds of company, and we will discuss all these one by one. First of all, this unlimited company. Unlimited company is a company. Unlimited company is a company where there is no limit on the liability of its members. It means when a company suffers loss and the company's property is not sufficient to pay off its debts, the private property of its shareholders will be used to meet the claims of the creditors. As the risk involved in such companies is too high, there are not these are not found in India, even though permitted by the Companies Act. Even though Company Act permit unlimited companies in India, but still there are no such type of companies in India. Second one, company limited by guarantee. Company limited by guarantee. In case of a company, the liability of the members is limited to the extent of guarantee given by them in event of winding up of the company. The liability of its members will arise only in the event of winding up of the company. Okay. And last one, which is the important one, company limited by shares. In case such a company, the liability of the members is strictly limited to the extent of nominal value of the shares purchased by each member. If a member has already paid full amount of the shares, he will not be liable to any amount at the time of winding up of the company if there is a loss. If a member has partly paid the shares, then the remaining amount he has to pay at the time of winding up of the company, and the company is suffering with the losses. Such companies may be subdivided into private, public and one person company. So let us discuss now private company. A private company is which a private company is one which by its article of association, number one, restricts the right of transfer of its shares. Means private company is that company which have the three features. First one, restricts the right of transfer of its shares. Means the shareholders cannot sell or sell the shares to another. The transferability of shares is prohibited in private companies. Second one, limits the members number of members to 200. So means minimum 2 members should be there and maximum 200 members. The members limit is there. Second condition. And third condition is prohibits any invitation to public to subscribe for the securities, shares or debentures of the company. Means these companies, what are the features of a private company? Private company is that company which has three features. Number one, transferability of shares is not allowed. Number two, minimum 2 members are required and maximum 200 members. And number three, it does not call the public to subscribe the shares. Means the shares of the private companies are not issued to the public. These are issued to some private persons. Okay. Number two, public company. Generally, this chapter is belong to the public company. As per the Company Act 2013, Section 2, Section 71, the public company means a company which is not a private company. So, which is not a private company. Public company is that company which is not a private company. Means when three conditions are not there, three conditions of private companies are not there, then we can assume that kind of company is public company. So some of the features of public company we can discuss. Number one, minimum 7 members and maximum no limit. Here minimum 2, maximum 200. Number two, it can invite the public to subscribe shares. its shares can be issued to public purchase the shares of these companies. There is no restriction on the transferability of the shares can be transferred easily. Then it must have at least 3 directors and it must have at least 2 directors. Then here only word limited is put with the name of the company, like XYZ company name is there, then XYZ limited will be the company's name, and here XYZ private limited. The word limited is attached with public company, and the word private limited is attached with the private company. So these are the differences. Difference you can make between the private company and the public company. Let us discuss the one-person company also. As per the Companies Act 2013, it has introduced a new type of entity to the existing list apart from forming the public or private company. The article enables the formation of a new entity, that is one-person company, OPC. And a one-person company means a private limited company, which only one person as its member, with only one person as its member. This line can be underlined. Following rules are applicable on one-person company. Number 1, members. Only natural person who is an Indian citizen and resident in India can be the member of one-person company. Number 2, one person can form only one OPC. Number 3, its paid up share capital should not exceed 50 lakhs. Number 4, its average annual turnover of 3 years should not exceed 2 crores. Purpose: a OPC cannot be, one person company cannot be formed for charitable purposes. In other words, it can be formed for business purposes only. And conversion, 6th merit is a one person company cannot convert itself into public or private company unless a period of 2 years has expired from the date of its incorporation, and conversion is mandatory when paid up capital is increased beyond 50 lakhs or its average annual turnover during the relevant period should exceed more than 2 crores. तो कौन से इसके फीचर हुए? नंबर 1, ये कन्वर्ट कब हो सकती है? जब इसकी 50 लाख से ज़्यादा पेड अप कैपिटल होती है तो ये कन्वर्ट हो जाएगी पब्लिक या प्राइवेट में. ये 2 करोड़ से ज़्यादा टर्नओवर हो जाएगी तब भी हो सकती है. अब इसके बेनिफिट्स क्या हैं? बेनिफिट्स ऑफ पब्लिक कंपनी OPC वन पर्सन कंपनी. One person company is not required to include cash flow statement in its financial statements. There is no need to prepare the cash flow statement for one person company. Then the provisions regarding to the calling of annual general meeting, notice for a general meeting, quorum for meetings, proxies, etc. should not apply to the one person company. So in this video we have discussed about the company, its features and kinds of company, and the understanding of kinds of company and difference between private and public company. The remaining part of the video the chapter we will discuss in the next video. Till then, okay, bye.